I see what's happening here. We're faced with a sequel and it's strange. Open your eyes, let's begin to see if this movie's a win. So what can I say except it's okay? No, it's okay. It's sorry. I'm like, okay, how long can I keep this up? I'm just ad-libbing at this moment. No, Moana 2. So I literally just watched the first Moana on Saturday again with my girlfriend for the first time. She had never seen it. She was a little dubious, but she really liked it. She fell in love with Hey Hey. Which, who among us can't fall in love with Alan Tudyk chicken? Really? Who among us cannot resist that sexy chicken? But, so I saw it, I'm like, I still love this movie, just as I did the last time. And now this new one comes in. So the big three things I've been hearing about the movie. A, it's not as good as the first one. Not quite as good as the first one. B, the music isn't as good. And C, it's still a really good movie. And yeah, all three of those, the fourth thing, the third act is arguably better than the third act in the original movie. And at least for those first three, yeah, every one of those is correct. This isn't as good as the first movie. Still a pretty good movie. The music definitely isn't as good. I actually can't even really remember any of the songs, to which I'm actually getting the Wikipedia up here right now. Oh, no, that's not true. I can remember the songs in a way that my mind recognizes them as, oh, this is this song, this is this song. But I'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah, it's not as good as the first one, but it's still a really good movie. Now, let me talk about that third act thing real quick. I heard some people say that the third act actually is probably handled better in this movie than it is in the first movie. That, I think, is debatable. And I don't mean that as a knock against the third act in this. It's just the third act means something very different in this movie than it did in the previous movie. So that's kind of it's a little of an apples to orange comparison, I think. Just because of the tone of the third act in the original movie and the tone of the third act here. They are striking different tones for different reasons. But if I don't think there is something as good as, say, her walking through the ocean, parting to get to Tahiti, and then putting it back in and releasing. Like, I don't think there's anything quite strong. Well, maybe something that is, but I will say it's at least as good as the third act of the first movie. So anyway, what is the story of this movie? Well, Moana is wayfinding. She's trying to connect the people of the sea, but she can't seem to do it. She finds this little pot that has this depiction of an island that she doesn't recognize, and she has to find this island to help. And if she steps foot on this island, there's a curse on this island, and the people will be free. An Igor god has put a curse on it. And she's got a crew this time. She joins back up with Maui, and they got to save the day. Now, before I talk about all the things I did like about the movie, let's do the thing we do where we split it into two. The things I didn't quite like and then the things I did like. Because the things I did like definitely outweigh the things I don't like. And it's really not much that I don't like about this movie. Let's start with the music first. This is not Lin-Manuel Miranda this time. Who's the person who did the music here? Composed the score. And Emily Bear wrote the songs, replacing Lin-Manuel Miranda. And you can tell. The song, as I heard it put best, and this is the best way I heard it put, the songs are not bad. There's nothing that sticks in your head like what I just did. I literally can do, you're welcome. I can even do a lot of that, like, little, quick verse he did in the end. Man, honestly, man, I could go on and on. I can explain every natural phenomenon. The earth, the sea, and the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. I killed the hill, bury its cup. I'll keep the trees that you have coconuts. Was the lesson? What is the takeaway? Don't mess with Maui when he's on the brink away. Like that, I can do that, no problem. That is ingrained in my memory. There's a line where the sky meets the sea and it calls me. Like, I can do that off the top of my head. Those just were naturally, like, just beautiful songs that were. I'm actually trying to remember if there's any other songs I go. And obviously that song's there too. All these songs are like just kind of there, and they're actually Moana. The first one, and I think about it, did not have a lot. Oh, and then Shiny, there wasn't actually a lot of songs. Here, there's a couple of songs here. We got We're Back, which is essentially what I kind of put it as the Frozen 2 song. That was it. And Nothing Has Changed. Like, not quite, no. Then there's Beyond, which is Into the Unknown. Again, it's another kind of Frozen 2 thing. Let's see. And then there's, let's see, writers, performers, Hallelujah. Then there's What Could Be Better Than This, which is, that was a weird one. That was a weird place for a song. Definitely some of the crew singing together. And I'm going to get to my problem with the crew in a little bit. Get Lost, which is Awia Hamai Fraser, who plays the character of Loto. I think that's her name. I'm going to find that character right now, who's one of the new characters introduced. Let's see here. As Loto, a brainy but quirky. Nope, that's not. Loto is like the smart individual of the she's the thinker and the think words. The thinker and the inventor of the group. Where is that new character? Come on. Okay. Matangi. Who I'll talk about her in a minute. I like what we get from her, but I want more of her. So there's a song called Get Lost, that's a weird one. Then there's a Can I Get a She-Who, which is the Dwayne The Rock Johnson song, which is nowhere near as good as You're Welcome. And then then they do reprise Away Away. We Know Our Way. Away Away. We Know Our Way. Yeah, they reprise that again. And Finding the Way is another song that's in there too, I believe. Yeah, that's another song that's in there. So there's like 3 or 4 more songs in this one, and none of them. Now, that being said, I will say this. The minute I saw these titles, a couple of I believe her villain song's up, or we'll call it antagonist song. The character of Matangi, this bat demigoddess or something like that. I'm not exactly sure who she's supposed to be. We get the impression that she's kind of got the thing from Maui, which is whatever, okay. But regardless, none of the songs aren't bad. Some of them are actually quite catchy, at least in the moment, but they don't really do much to stand out in the movie. And I'm only barely now remembering the Get Lost songs, momentum and vibe and all that. The other ones, not so much. So that's a knock on the film. Now the crew. The crew is something I'm gonna combine with my other problem. There's only really 3 problems here. The crew are fine, but they're so. We have this character. I have this character trait. I have this character trait. And at points, that gets irritating to watch. The Loto character, I wanted to smack her upside the head when she was in one scene because her whole idea is nothing is perfect. I will destroy it. I can rebuild anything, blah, blah, blah. So she at one point starts destroying the ship they're sailing on. And I was like, we are literally sailing at the moment. What are you doing? Now there's a point to it and a reason, but I'm like, stop doing that. They want to live. Oh man, and they're all there to have their character moment, I guess. But they're not god awful, but they're just kind of either there or annoying. Stop doing that. Now again, it all comes together. It comes together in the end. But what ties in together that is this, and I think this is actually the biggest problem with this movie. Where the third act is fantastic. The movie really ends on a really great note. Fantastic. And it's set for a sequel. Assuming this film does well, which is primed to do. They're talking about this film could be one of the biggest of the year. And it's already looking to have a huge, possibly even bigger opening than Inside Out 2. Possibly not as big as Deadpool and Wolverine, though. But still, as big as Inside Out 2. And by the way, for any of you who comment in the box office or in this video this week, But hey, like if it somehow makes it made 230 million over the Thanksgiving week and it beat Deadpool Wolverine. No, it didn't. You don't count those 2 days when you're dealing with there's only the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the weekend box office. So for any of you who think otherwise, that's not how that works. You cannot just include a holiday on there when it's not included anywhere else. Because if that were the case, you would then have to be fair, you would then have to include Deadpool and Wolverine's next 2 days on there. So you can't do that. That's not fair to other movies. It's only the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But this one was originally supposed to be a series. And I could tell watching it. Because I'm sitting there and I can tell, they kind of, they didn't chop it. The editing's fine. Like there's nothing that seems off per se, but I can just feel like things need to be fleshed out a bit more. I think Moana was supposed to spend more time with her sister we now have, who's adorable. But that is one of the most adorable little sisters I've seen in a long time in like Phil. She's like, you will go forever. Like she's adorable. And she's like hiding in a basket. Moana's gonna take a boat. She's like, I'm coming with you. And like, no, don't come back. Like, let me hug you. Oh. But you can tell that it just feels like we were supposed to be spending more time doing things. Like the first episode of the series was clearly supposed to be her back on the island, and then the end of the episode was probably her going back onto the sea. And then they probably were going to have a couple extra hijinks and adventures, all that, leading to where they were going. And because of that, things that normally would have probably felt epic didn't. Like there's a scene involving a giant, you see in the trailer, a giant monster clam, which has a side spoiler to that. I'm like, oh wait, so this is where they're in a clam? The hell? A supernatural giant clam, but whatever. And like this should feel more impressive than it is. This should feel like when we went into the Sea of Monsters and found Tamatota. Either way, the crab. But it's still fun. The movie looks fantastic. The water effects are beautiful in this one. And they were good in the last one too, but they look great here. But I'm just watching like, okay, this isn't as impressive. Why does it not feel as impressive? And it's because I am with characters who were written for a show, not a movie. Moana and Maui are still written for a movie. And even Matangi, she has potential down the road, but that's the problem. She's clearly written to show up again later in a TV in style of TV, not in the style of a movie. So what we get of her, I like. I need more of her. And then we have this other character who gets revealed in the mid-credit scene. And like, well, okay, great, wonderful. Why didn't we see you in the movie? I mean, great, it's cool, awesome, but okay, well, whenever we get Moana 3, which, again, probably will, we'll be down for that. But, yeah, it's just, and I think that's probably why the songs suffered, too, because they weren't, Lin-Manuel didn't want to come back for a TV series. He would have probably come back for a movie, and then they looked at this and went, yeah, rework this into a movie, please. But unfortunately, the songs were done. So that is all probably why these things that don't work as well in this version don't. Because they originally designed it as a TV series for a Disney Plus, and then it turned into a movie. And luckily, I'm glad they did, because as a TV series, I wouldn't have cared that much about this. I mean, I probably would still try to watch it, but I just would be like, this should be on the movie screen, which luckily it is. Now, with all that being said, the characters that we still know and love, Moana and Maui, when they are on screen, and particularly when they're on screen together, these characters, bam, they're not a beat is lost. Moana's a little older. She has like a 2-3-year-old little sister. So, yeah, I don't actually say how old she is. It's like, she's like 2 or 3. She can talk. So it's not like she's like a little 1-year-old or anything like that. But I wouldn't go much lower than like, say, 3 years old. And, Yeah, and so she has a relationship with her, which means Moana's probably in the neighborhood of like going on her hitting 18. And she, like I said, her little sis is adorable. You now have a much better feeling of the community now that the father isn't just trying to be like letting his past influence his decisions. So like the family network is great. When jokes work with the crew, I do like the crew. Like the crew isn't god awful, like I said. They're just clearly designed for a TV show, not a movie. But that being said, they do get some laughs now and then. I can't say that they're god awful. They're not what I was hoping for. Again, now he's great. Like I said, visually, this film looks fantastic. Even though the songs aren't the greatest, so they're fine, but they're not, amazing. They're still sung as best they can, save for maybe Can I Get a Chee-Hoo, which is Dwayne's song, because Dwayne's got a good voice, just not a great singing voice. It worked with You're Welcome because of the way that song was structured. Chee-Hoo is not structured in a way that suits Dwayne Johnson's vocals. But, they can't all be winners. And then, like I said, too, the third act of this film is definitely where it really starts to kick off, where it's really working overtime. And they do something where I'm like, oh, wow, oh my God, they did do that. And then I'm like, is this going to happen? And then what about that? And again, I'm not going to spoil anything here, but I'm like, oh, okay, so is that now? And then I think about what's going on. I'm like, yeah, this would make sense. This is the logical step this character goes down, in their story. And you know what? It's deserved. So yeah, I'm actually very impressed. It also led to some great like emotional moments in the movie too. Like it's a very different emotional moment than in the first movie. In the first one, there's just this sorrow and sadness for what you feel for Tafiti, what she's gone through, and her and this empathy and emotion and compassion that came from it. Here it's something very different, but it works still really well, and I really enjoyed it. And then the movie ends. The movie ends in a very nice place, a very fun place. So, like, overall, I really do recommend. Even though I spent the longest portion of the video on the negatives talking about it, and simplified the good stuff. The good stuff, and like the soundtrack. It's not the soundtrack, but the what's the score? The score still sounds fantastic. Like everything still looks gorgeous, sounds great. Like even the songs, like I said, aren't as good as the first movie's songs, but they sound good. And so ultimately, I would say, yeah, this is still definitely a movie I'd recommend for the family, for family crew, or if you like the first one and just have no one to go with, go check it out. In terms of trailers, I'm trying to remember. We got The Bad Guys 2. I'm trying to. God, I'm struggling to remember. Sonic 3, the newest trailer. I'm getting mostly that trailers that are cut for movies coming out next year. I should be writing this crap down. I still can't find my little black notebook. I'm trying to think of any animated stuff we got. Alio. We got the Alio trailer, which, okay, looks fine. The Mufasa trailer, which, look, Mufasa apparently is tracking for about $50. Sonic 3 is tracking for more than that. Now, people are saying, well, see, Sonic's going to make $1 billion. No, it's not. The first two didn't even come close to it. They didn't even break $500 million. So don't go sprouting false narratives, or don't go getting your hopes up too high. But what it does say is at least opening weekend, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is going to probably beat Mufasa, probably. And if it doesn't, it's not going to be by a lot that Mufasa beats it. What is important to know, though, is this, I think, kind of solidifies what I was saying. I don't know anyone really cares that much about this movie. Because, as I was watching someone kind of put it, it's a prequel to a remade film. It doesn't even look visually as good as the last one. And we know where this story ends. This is the pure definition of a cash grab. This and Joker 2 are the best definitions this year of a cash grab. Every film is. They're trying to make money. But when we're talking about the films that really serve no purpose in being made other than to try to make money. There's no real artistic, there's no artistic value to it. There isn't even a good quality. Oh, okay, I can't speak to Mufasa, but the like Joker 2 though, I get where he was trying to do what he was trying to do, I think, but it's just one of those films that was not very good. Was not very good. And like I said, I am not going to even bother seeing Mufasa. So yeah, we got like 2 other trailers though. What were they? I want to say they were live action films. Uh, what were they? Paddington 3, which now is going to be released on Valentine's Day along with Captain America: Brave New World. Paddington is adorable. Paddington is the bestest bear around. It's called a hard stare. It's to remind people who but it's for when people have forgotten their manners. I love Paddington. Just that adorable little bear. All right, yeah, that's about it. This is a very good film still. It is a very fun film, entertaining. The last act is great. The music is still good, just not as good. Its structure might be a little off. Maybe that's where I'm kind of feeling the vibe of it, originally being a TV series. And some of the characters can be a little grating, but it's hardly enough to warrant not seeing the film, or to not see the film. I still very much recommend seeing the film. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be enjoy. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I got a birthday what if to do. I'll see you guys in the later.